today goes right in the face of having this conversation and have debate. And I appreciate my Republican colleagues who've come to the floor to engage in some debate and some colloquy. I, like Senator Kane, came to the Senate a bit naive. I thought debate happened here all the time. I came here thinking that I could offer an amendment at any time, that I could offer a unanimous consent at any time. It's not the case. This is not the Senate that our founders envisioned. Now, if you feel moved to oppose a piece of legislation, if you're passionate about an issue, you should have the courage to come to the Senate floor in front of your colleagues and the American people. You should not be allowed to phone it in from behind closed doors. This chamber has changed, just as the times have changed. So it's the responsibility of every one of us to make sure that the Senate works better. Not for us, but for the American people. Now, in closing, in 1805, Vice President Aaron Burr suggested that the Senate remove from its rules the previous question motion, which allowed the chamber's simple majority to end debate on a bill. He viewed the rule as completely unnecessary and urged the Senate to clean up its rule book because after everyone spoke and debated, they'd vote. A year later, the Senate removed the previous question motion, leaving a loophole that allowed the minority to take advantage and use what we now know as the filibuster. Unfortunately, Burr could not foresee the obstructionism of decades to come. In the following decades, pro-slavery senators co-opted the filibuster to protect the interests of white Southern enslavers. Men such as John Calhoun abused the filibuster to obstruct civil rights efforts. And according to historians, between 1917 and 1994, 30 measures favored by the sitting president, simple majorities in the House and Senate, half of which addressed civil rights, they all died, thanks to the filibuster. The same procedural tool proved to be even more useful to Southern senators who sought to block civil rights legislation, including anti-lynching bills. Not until 1964 did the Senate successfully overcome a filibuster to pass important civil rights legislation and subsequent voting rights legislation. Now, history should act as a teacher to all of us, and history will remind us who voted today on the side of the people. I'm proud that this effort includes my Native American Voting Rights Act, which will ensure tribes and Native Americans and Alaska Natives and voters on tribal lands will have equal access to the electoral process. Access to the ballot box is the cornerstone of our democratic system. And without equitable access to it, we cannot stand on the world stage and claim that we are all leaders in the fight for liberty and justice for all. Now, my Republican colleagues have proven time and again that they're not interested in acting on this issue. Washington Republicans have made the political calculation that they have a partisan advantage here. They are too comfortable shrugging their shoulders and sitting on the sidelines while states chip away at the right to vote. I know where I stand, Mr. President. All we are asking for today is the opportunity to vote on this critical piece of legislation after everyone here has said their piece. I urge my colleagues to do the right thing today, to do right by our democracy, and to send the Freedom to Vote John R. Lewis Act to the President's desk. I thank you all, and I yield the floor.